Hey everybody, producer Dave here. We had a little bit of an audio issue again. I'm sorry. Did my best to fix it. The audio sounds great. It's just the lip sync gets out of order, but you'll still hear it fine and it'll come in and out. I did my best with it, and enjoy the mock.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for being here. I'm Chris. You know who I am. I'm here for another mock draft. We're posting these mock drafts on Thursdays, so that's why I call them Mock Draft Thursdays. And my guest for this mock draft, it's Al Madrigal. You know him from the George Lopez show. You know him from The Daily Show. You know him from his stand-up. You know him from many, many things, and he's great. And he's my friend. Hi, Al.
What's happening? How are you? Thanks for having me. Yeah, I got to say, and I told you this many times, but I'm missing any dad with a teenage to young 20s son that also plays fantasy and is in tune. Because for our last drafts, we're in this league together, and my son's been at my side just the entire time, and it's been great to have him nearby going, we have a whole strategy when it comes to that league, but he's on top of every single young running back and people that I hadn't heard of yet, so I'm missing that expert.
All right, well, we're here to guide you through it. I should say the league to which Al refers is an auction, so it's like levels of magnitude harder and more challenging. And how long does that auction take? It's 14-team league. You're a real player. People need to not you're soft pedaling your expertise.
We did okay last year, and also I feel like I'm kind of poised to do well this year because we have to, obviously pay in the auction league, pay to keep. We have two keepers, and I have Brees Hall, and then I have I think I'm going to keep Dell, who I'm getting just for $5.
Nice. Well, already I don't remember who I have in that league, but at some point I'm sure I will check the spreadsheet and find out. Today, though, we're here to do a 10-team mock, and it's funny because I don't do that much 10-team league content, like explicit 10-team league content.
Why is that?
Because you sort of turn up your nose. Oh, that's star ball. You don't have to. There's no scarcity. There's always a running back if you need one. You can always pick off guys off a waiver wire. It certainly is an accepted principle that in a 10-team league you can stomach a little more risk. A guy who scares you in the first or second round isn't such a scary pick because you're just going to have more depth because there are fewer players taken. And yet, the fact is, and a lot of folks are watching this video, well, for you, but also because 10-team leagues are quite literally the most popular fantasy format in the world of fantasy. And therefore, I'm a snob and should be reprimanded.
Well, even in our league, a 14-player league, and I was trying to commend you on your strategy, like you really do a good job of hanging back and saving your money because there are those picks in your teams, obviously, because this is what you do. You have ended up doing well every single year, but you haven't won.
Nope, I've not won.
Liz Loza hasn't won. Liz Loza, I think I beat Liz last year.
You hit that ceiling. I'm only so smart,
Well, it makes it very difficult, but you will find people that hadn't been drafted after the fact. I do pick a bunch of people up, and I definitely have a rookie strategy in that league because I know it's a keeper league, so I'll always spend a decent amount of money on somebody that people aren't really paying attention to, or a second round back that I think had a good preseason. So,
right, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, so this will be the opposite of that. I mean, although you still can take lots of flyers because this is a 10-teamer, we have worked it out. Dave Piper's producing, and frankly, it's scandalous, but he has control over who picks where. That just seems completely unfair. He sees the 49ers shirt. You want to show the folks the full glory of the 49ers shirt.
And then I also, I was telling you before, and you know this, my father used to stand outside Candlestick Park and collect photos. So I just to show some rare, like this is a hacksaw, Jack Reynolds here. I mean, he used to stand outside and get all these signed for us. So I have a tremendous amount of like Dear Al, To Al, Joe Montana, Freddie Solomon pictures over here. So it's,
so Dave knows his audience, and he happens to be a massive fan of you and your stand-up. And so he made you the number one overall person here. So you get to take the guy you want at number one. And meanwhile, here I am sitting all the way back at number 10. But that's how this is going to go. Al's going to pick one. He's going to have to wait and all the way back, and his second pick is going to be 20 and 21. We'll go from there. We're picking against bots. We're not picking defenses. We're not picking kickers. And I think I can say from my point of view in a 10-team league, I'm a lot less worried about position. I'm looking for upside, and probably that's how I'm going to pick. So Dave, do you want to get this thing rolling and let Al make his presumptive number one?
Yeah. Who do you think I'm going to pick? Whoa.
Change. You got two choices. You can either change your shirt.
Yeah. Well, that is happening. Shit.
Yeah, that happens fast. So the bots will pick, but it's fine because we have little pauses built in. So you got McCaffrey at 1.
Yes.
Tell me how you feel about McCaffrey at 1, especially as of a recording this, he's got a calf thing going on, right?
He does have a calf thing going on, so he's showing up as injured. I mean, I had him for half the year in the trade last year because somebody tried to dump him because he was purchased for $70 in our league. So what he did incredibly well for me. I mean, he just keeps year after year, which makes you kind of concerned with his workload and how long this can last.
Of course.
So that's what I'm kind of worried about. And I know that Jordan Mason is doing incredibly well this year. So that wouldn't be a bad sort of pick for somebody as me being your fantasy Niner expert. Look for Mason.
I mean, I think Mason's going to be there late in this draft, and he's not a terrible handcuff in any size league, to be honest. Elijah Mitchell often is considered the regular handcuff, but he's been hurt in training camp, so maybe it is Mason. So let's see. This first round has gone like a lot of drafts are going, and this is 10 teams, but no, the bots are still loving receivers. We saw 6 receivers go after your pick, and we saw 2 more running backs go. And of course, the 2 more running backs that went are the 2 that I would love to get: Bijan Robinson, and Breece Hall. They're both gone.
Breece Hall's gonna have a great year this year.
Agreed. And I did not wind up with him. So I've got the turn picks here, and I'm gonna buck the trend. And my first pick is gonna be Saquon Barkley, one of my sons who plays in the NFL. I've got a few of them. He's not my eldest son, but he's getting up there. And I should have said this is a full PPR. That is great for Barkley. I had Chris Raybon on the podcast on Wednesday. I talked about Barkley as like my favorite bet given the odds to win the NFL rushing title in Philadelphia. I like the bet where he's over 1,000 yards. So obviously I'm buying in on Barkley. And so the question now is, am I willing to pick a receiver here, or do I want to go another running back? There's really nothing under consideration for me. My highest ranked player left in a PPR is Jonathan Taylor. The next receiver that I would pick here would probably be Puka Nacua, who, like McCaffrey, has a training camp injury and has been hobbling around a little bit and carries maybe a little more risk than we thought. So before I make the pick, Al, if you had to choose, if you were me, you just took Barkley, and you had choice between Jonathan Taylor, running back of the Colts, or Puka Nacua.
My instinct would just be wrap up your running backs and go with Jonathan Taylor. And
that, my friend, I'm picking my best available. I think especially in a 10-team league, best available early is great. That's what we want. So here we go. That's all right. So we're up to your second round pick. You can kind of observe the board. I know you have a cheat sheet because you're taking this seriously for the folks. You can by far feel free to check who's left on your team, who you like, or who's left on your list, who you like. But once again, man, look at all that blue. We see so many receivers going, and this is how fantasy drafts have been going. There's been
and that makes me want to not miss out on some sort of decent receiver. So
Makes
I think
sense.
I'm going to go with Olave, who's still on the board, and I think I'm going Olave.
And then you get to pick again, and so you got one receiver, you got one running back.
That's right.
What's your instinct here at the turn here? Pick 21. I'm amazed by how much blue we see on this draft board. Like, this is not how drafts went.
That's kind of got me worried as well. What's Waddle's story? He's hurt too. Everybody's hurt.
I think he's okay. I think as of our recording this, we don't think he's hurt too badly.
Okay.
His story is that he's got Tyreek Hill on his team, and
that didn't go great.
Limits things sometimes.
I think I am going to take Michael Pittman Jr.
All right, receiver. I think that is going to be people who have
wait,
the
101.
Wait.
Whoa.
It's not official.
Wait.
It hasn't been handed to the podium yet.
Fuck it.
Oh, wait, yeah, come on, obviously.
I mean, I'm wearing the gear.
Obviously. You're wearing the gear. And as of our recording this, we don't have closure on Brandon Ayuk's situation.
If he goes to the Steelers, then that was a horrible pick, because I watched some nonsense Steelers training camp videos, and I was like, oh, why would you ever want to go there? Like, seriously. Fields, just not good. That's where you want to go just for an extra $3 million? It doesn't make sense. And Pittsburgh's a great city, and a lot of my friends are Steelers fans, and I have nothing wrong with them. I just have something wrong with their quarterback situation right now and making an extra $3 million. Now, I could also make a case for not wanting to earn that money in California, but why don't you go be like, Mark Wahlberg and set up most of the time in Nevada? And don't they earn money based on where their games play? Aren't they taxed if they're in Florida playing Miami?
State income tax.
Yeah, state income tax. So it doesn't really matter.
It matters. Let me put it this way, Al. There's some of us for whom moving to Pittsburgh for $3 million would be inconsequential to their great personal fortune. And then there's me, who would probably move to Pittsburgh. But I understand you wouldn't, big successful.
No, I mean, I'm just saying the difference between $20 million and $23 million or whatever that was. Like, it's a fortune versus a fortune. And then it comes down to Brock Purdy versus whoever, Russell Wilson or Fields. And I would pick Brock Purdy every single time.
But I think you took Ayuk here because, as of our recording this, the news does seem to be that
he's most likely going to stay. He showed up at practice. He was dapping up John Lynch, I think.
And then I'll say also that when people have McCaffrey at the 101, which I think you have to take. I mean, I understand your concern. Everybody's concerned about McCaffrey's injury risk. I think you have to take him at 101. And probably the most common thing that people do when they do that is go receiver in rounds 2 and 3. And that's because you feel like, especially when you look at a board this blue, holy cow, they're all kind of gone away.
Receivers, so I gotta hang.
All right, so let me take a break and thank the sponsor. I've got a little setup here that is AG1, and AG1 is sponsoring us throughout our mock drafts. This is an AG1 travel pack. You get 5 free travel packs if you go to drinkag1.com and use the code /Harris. And I actually, this time around, I mixed some AG1. I'm not going to be actually drinking this now because I already drank mine this morning. I'm going to put this in the refrigerator for tomorrow morning. But I cut out my multivitamin. I just drink AG1 on an empty stomach every morning. The difference being is the nutrition is like more complete. Plus, it comes with a probiotic and a prebiotic, and it gives your stomach the ability to absorb as much of the nutrition as possible as it's passing through you. I notice a complete difference in my energy levels at the gym. As we like to say on the show, I notice an energy level difference in the bathroom too, because things move better. drinkag1.com/Harris is you can get you'll get a year's supply of vitamin D. You'll get 5 free travel packs, and the important thing as far as the takeaway that I take away from being an AG1 customer for, I guess, like 3 years now, every morning for like 3 years, is just that the formula is always evolving. The testing of the formula is immaculate, and they're a brand that I just trust. So if you are interested in checking it out, replacing your multivitamin, drinkag1.com/Harris. We do appreciate their support. Okay, so Dave is going to restart this thing. And the tiers that you see are not for AG1. The tiers are for Josh Jacobs going right before my pick. One of my other sons from the show. He has the best song maybe on my podcast. I've gone receiver. I mean, I've got running back, so I probably wasn't going to take him anyway. Another great song on my show that a listener has made, however, does involve DJ Moore, the little badass.
Yeah.
It's ironic. I didn't expect it to come around this way, but on Wednesday's podcast with Chris Raybon, I also made a 22-1 bet on DJ Moore to win the receiving title. I don't necessarily think it's the likeliest thing to happen, but the guy is awesome. And if Caleb Williams is ready and sort of more of the work falls on him and maybe a little less on the rookie and on Keenan Allen, then DJ Moore I'm going to have in a lot of drafts.
Watching Hard Knocks? Of course you are.
I'm actually not. I'm not a Hard Knocks guy. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Are you?
Well, I actually, it's one of those shows, and I'm sure this is by design, where my wife, who is not, she's supports me and so supports the 49ers, but she likes watching it. Obviously, you get the stories, and it sucks a lot of people in. So she was, they pulled him in and they signed him to his big deal on the show, and that's a good story there. But I just worry about, again, just
lots of guys. There are lots of guys.
Lots of guys.
It is true, but I love DJ Moore and I believe in DJ Moore.
Cool. I had him when he was in Carolina. He was on my team for our league when he was a Panther.
Yeah, I mean the problem in Carolina was always, there's just something about DJ Moore. He can't score touchdowns, and then it turns out no, it was just random, and he scored a lot of touchdowns. I'm probably gonna have to pick another receiver here, and I might have gone with Stephon Diggs, if he'd been there, but he actually went earlier, and so I'm going to take the other Texans receiver, who a lot of people have ranked ahead of Diggs. I don't. I have Diggs higher, but Diggs isn't there. So for me, at the turn here, I went DJ Moore and Nico Collins.
Ooh.
And now we see quarterbacks starting to come off the board, and in a 10-team league, I have absolutely no quarterback envy. I'm going to wait so long to take a quarterback, I think, probably.
That's great strategy that I can now employ myself.
I shouldn't have told you that. What am I doing?
Let's see. Now, also, being such a Homer Niner fan, it's very difficult for me to take any Seahawks. And then we play with a lot of Seahawks fans. We play with Joel McHale.
We do have a lot of Seahawks fans in that league. Yeah.
And then also the worst is Rhett, who is a Cowboy fan. So I don't take any Cowboys. I don't take any Seahawks because I never could root for them. And I don't care if I lose. I like the Niners more than I would like to win the fantasy.
Well, here's the thing. That's Al. The reason you're here is because you're picking like a fan, and that's fine with me.
Yeah, I don't care.
So who you got?
I'm looking at, you know what?
You almost took Pittman last time.
Yeah, he's there.
Still hanging out. You got three starting receiver slots, and you have 2 picks in a row, so you can do Pittman and a running back potentially.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take. Sorry.
No, you're fine. What I love is that you're taking this so seriously. It's a mock draft. It's fine.
I know. Because I have him on another team, and he was so great for me last year. So I probably could have taken him later, but it doesn't matter.
So in the first 4 rounds, we had 3 Texans receivers go, which is a little different than me taking both Keenan Allen and DJ Moore.
Well, I still think that the rapport that he has with CJ Stroud is so amazing that
it is defensible.
Yeah,
I agree.
And I
think
is
very
that they're going to have a lot of attention on him. And then I will take, why not?
Dave will bleep that. Wow, we are seriously Niner heavy. So I will say that 10-team league allows us to take chances. I'm not sure it allows me to take that many 49ers with my first 5 picks, but it can work out great. If you had done this exact strategy with McCaffrey, Ayuk, and Kittle last year, it would have huge home run. This notion that it's
the number 1 offense in football. They are amazing. So if they have a good year, and I think they're going to, and then Trent signs his contract, which I'm sure he will, then we're good.
Too many mouths to feed is what a lot of people say about an offense like that. And then it turns out that it's the best offense in the league or close to it. And no longer does anybody worry about all the mouths that get fed. They're all fine. All right. So we did have, we've got 5 quarterbacks of the 10 teams now are gone. I have no temptation to take a quarterback in a 10-team league this early. I don't have, I would say on my list, even in a 12-team league, I wouldn't be thinking quarterback at all right now. Could I think tight end? We'll see with my second pick. But for my first pick, I think it's crazy Alvin Kamara, especially in a full PPR, is going as late as he's going. I understand the risk. He didn't have any breakaway runs at all last year. Never had a 1,000-yard season. Saints offense doesn't look very good. Offensive line bad.
You got to do it.
Especially in a full PPR. I'll take the 1-yard catches. I mean, they're cheap, but that I'm good with that. I've said this in a bunch of places, so I can't remember whether I said it on one of these mock drafts, but I think the offensive coordinator change, getting rid of Pete Carmichael and going to like the McVay tree, the Shanahan tree, will make a big difference, because you know what it's like to watch an offense that has that much pre-snap motion and that much deception. Defenses are always in the back foot, and the Saints were just the most stagnant, the most predictable offense. I quote this stat: Alvin Kamara, half of his runs last year had no pre-snap motion at all. Can you imagine if McCaffrey had that many runs with no pre-snap motion? Like, it's just not, Shanahan would never consider that.
No, it's not. That's what he's all about.
Yeah, that motion is what we want. So hopefully Kamara has a better year as a result of that. All right, next. So now I'm sitting on 3 running backs and 2 receivers. So I am thinking about another receiver, but Dave Piper, you'll be happy to know, I remember that I took DJ Moore. So I'm not going to take Keenan Allen, even though I would, because Al, I want you to know that I'm a professional. I do this for a living. We did a mock draft with Jeff Bell on the channel last week, and I was like, doop-de-doop-de-doo, I love Keenan Allen in the 6th round, forgetting that I had also taken DJ Moore, and neither Dave nor I caught it. And Jeff a round later was like, you do realize you just took both Bears receivers. You don't want people to actually do that in drafts, right? And I was like, I don't want them to do that. That's a great point. I'm not good at this. So instead, my next receiver on my board is Christian Kirk as my 3rd receiver.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Like him a lot. Slot guy. All right, here we go. We saw a bunch of tight ends leave the board, but of course you already have old George.
I mean, at this point, I'm looking for that.
Still don't have that. Yeah, you still don't have that second running back.
How serious is this Gibbs injury?
Yeah, I don't think we know yet. So far, the Lions, as of our recording this, are telling us that they don't expect the hamstring to be a problem for week 1. Is he available? I can't imagine he's still available.
No,
he's long gone. Oh, you're Montgomery. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think that would be a factor for me to take Montgomery, but this honestly is not a terrible spot for Montgomery. We're at least within like a round or 2. And of course, when you pick at the turn like this, you have to plan for 2 rounds. So like, if there's someone you want, you really can't count on him getting all the way down and all the way back to you. So
yeah,
don't hate it.
All right. And then you're not in on quarterbacks yet. Usually that's your professional advice.
My professional advice is, in a 10-team league, you just have especially a 10-team non-super flex where you don't have to play 2 quarterbacks. It's just, there's so many options. And even if you screw it up, there's so many guys on the waiver wire. Like, I'm only going to draft 1 quarterback. There's going to be so many guys on the waiver wire. So personally, it's what I would do. So there goes Ramondre.
Yeah, that's me.
Poor Ramondre Stevenson. I'm a Patriots fan, and it's not going to be a great year to be a Patriots fan, I'm afraid.
I don't think so, but they're going to have to run the ball.
Sure. He's fine there. Absolutely. I totally agree.
And then, all right, what about, I'd take 1 more running back, right?
You have both your starting running backs right now, and you have all 3 of your starting receivers. So the only positions that you have in your starting lineup right now are a flex, where you can flex either running back, wide receiver, or tight end, which probably you don't want to do that. So it's the only starting spot other than quarterback you have left is either a running back or a wide receiver. So you can kind of just pick your favorite.
I think I'm going to take Connor.
The Squirminator. We call him the Squirminator on the show, James Conner. Isn't that clever? Don't you love the nicknames, Al?
I do love the nicknames. The
So many
Squirminator.
nicknames. The Squirminator. All right, so we got back around to me again, and the tight ends that I really could have taken probably around Christian Kirk are now long gone, and there's now no tight end that I would consider in this neighborhood. So I could take a quarterback. And I think I probably am going to betray the bond that we have established over the course of this video by taking a quarterback now.
Yeah.
Because there's one dude who falls to me in all these drafts, and he's fine. He was a disaster last year, but he's fine now. So it's Joe Burrow. I don't know if it's 3 for 3. It might be 2 out of 3 of these mock drafts I've wound up with Burrow, but I never take quarterbacks even this high, and especially in a 10-team league. But seeing Burrow sit around, where I'll just keep referring back to the podcast we did Wednesday with Raybon. We both placed a bet, our favorite bet on quarterback to lead in passing yards, and I can't remember, Burrow might be like plus 850 or something. It's just not people are disregarding how crazy Joe Burrow is. He's very accurate. He's also insane. And he throws the ball down the field. So yeah, I'm all aboard there. And now I'm not going to take a tight end. Probably just going to take my highest remaining player, who is Chris Godwin. Solid bench fill-in kind of player. So we are now past halfway. And really, yeah, you're at the point now where you can do anything you want. You know, you've filled all your starting lineups except starting spots except quarterback. I mean, if you just take a second to look, and I want the folks who are in 10-team leagues to think, Al is one of the last teams here to have not taken a quarterback. Maybe the last? No, there is one other team that hasn't taken. The quarterbacks Al can choose from: Kyler Murray, Jordan Love, Brock Purdy, his favorite, Caleb Williams, Tua, Jared Goff. These are all starter quality fantasy players, and if they turn out not to be, there's going to be 5 other guys on the waiver wire. So you're not in any bad spot here by being one of the last teams.
Just to mix it up, you think with my lineup I would take Brock Purdy, but I'm just going to try. I really like Jordan Love, even though he got the big bag of money. I think he's still at a point in his career where he's going to kick some ass. And now I can't believe this guy is still on the board. At this point, so now what am I really drafting for here?
Bench.
You're
drafting for fill-ins, upsides. That's a great pick.
Yeah,
I took him last week.
I kind of can't believe he's still around, considering how well he did last year.
Yeah, he's RB2. What do you mean well? What are you talking about? He did well? Oh, he was the RB2 in fantasy last year, 20 touchdowns.
Why is he still sitting there?
Yeah, I mean, he's sitting there because everyone is in love with Devon Achane, who is going in the second round of drafts, and because they drafted a rookie as well. And I think this is probably not out. He's 32 and he's oft injured in his career, so there's a lot of worry that if you rely too heavily on him, he's going to burn you, and you're chasing last year's glory. But the point is, he's a backup on your team. You get to just see how it goes.
I mean, my running back situation is ridiculous.
I love it.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to say that when you took Jordan Love, I believe there's something in your contract that says I now have to black out this video in San Francisco. Is that right? Is that true?
No, they're not on my list. I mean, and I have a lot of friends who are Green Bay fans, all delightful people. I've heard when Niner fans go to watch games in Green Bay, people are absolutely delightful. But, when you go to watch, and Cowboy fans come into Levi's or any opposing stadium, they're just garbage people that attack you. And it's more about the fans. I don't want to start any business. I root for myself. I don't want any trouble. I don't want any trouble at all. And we have 16 seats at Levi's.
Wow.
All together in this little compact section. It's me, my cousins, my brothers, and Philly fans come in, obviously, and just the trash talk is ridiculous. But it's, you know.
But they're not garbage people, as you're saying. It's only
Well,
Dallas.
No. There's a lot. They're not the greatest, but yeah, I think in terms of opposing teams fans, like Cowboy fans definitely come in. They travel and they talk the most smack. And while we're kicking their ass, they still run that they're just up in your face if they score a field goal. And I'm not looking. I'm just like, good. I'm glad. Enjoy yourself. Like, have a good time. But just get out of my face in my own seats. I'm just, you know what I mean? All
right. You're a beauty. All right, we got around to my pick here. I still don't have a tight end. I don't really like any of these tight ends. I'm gonna fake it at tight end. I'm gonna take Tajay Spears as a bench running back. It's just fine. And I get him in every draft. Just does seem like I take Chase Brown an awful lot. So there he is.
Impossible. Keep up with Eckler gone, Christian Watson gone.
You could have had that Jordan Love to Christian Watson connection, which I don't think you would have rooted for very hard.
All right. Oh, how do we feel about? And now we're getting deep.
Yeah, these are bench guys. This is where you're shooting for upside. This is where you're trying to hit home runs. There's no sense in this, like Chase Brown's kind of a home run pick, you know. Tajay Spears maybe a little less so, but we're trying to pick guys that can crack their way in past the guys that you drafted very high on your team.
How do you feel about Brian Thomas Jr.?
I mean, he's a rookie. He's very, very fast, very, very tall, and apparently very raw. And I don't hate it at all. Because again, you're shooting for upside.
That's what I've typically done, especially in our other league, is I do look for rookies, you know, and
upside young players.
Especially because we're hanging on, to them, you know. It's like,
sure, I think it's fine.
All right, I'm going to take him. Let's see what happens there. All right, and then I'll take this. Boom.
Brian Robinson. You get a McCaffrey injury, maybe Brian Robinson can hang around there for you.
Sure. Two Bryans back to back. Got all the Bryans.
It's the all Brian strategy.
Put in the Bryans. I used to coach a basketball team in San Francisco when it was a horrible team, and it was from my old grammar school. It was downtown San Francisco, so we were adjacent to Chinatown, and I had these three Chinese kids on my team that I would put in the Wong defense, and I would just have these three kids with the last name Wong just smother their best player. Just like that's all they would do. I'd go, all right, put the Wongs on their best player, and the rest of you just get under the basket.
So this is the Brian offense as opposed to the Wong defense.
Put in my Brian.
I love it. Put in the Bryans. Looking for upside. You know, I think he should go in a 10-team league. I've taken a lot of running backs. We'll let him hang out on the bench for a few weeks. You know, he's not gonna play to start the year. But again, I think what we're trying to do in the late rounds of 10-team drafts is shoot for upside. And honestly, that's why I think I'm 3 for 3 in taking TJ Hawkinson as well. Another dude who's going to start in the PUP, and I'm going to have to take another tight end or else maybe drop somebody and on the waiver wire get a tight end. But eventually, Hawkinson very late is going to pay off.
And you think also taking more than one quarterback unnecessary in a league like this?
You know, especially because you have Jordan Love, it just feels like pretty safe. It's fine. You can see some of the bots have done it. We saw the team that waited even later than you and took Kyler Murray a couple rounds later. They take Caleb Williams, but they took a riskier guy, I think, frankly, than Jordan Love is. It's fine if there's a quarterback that strikes your fancy.
Well, what's the deal with Brooks's injury, the running back?
I mean, I just took Chubb and Hawkinson, so that's a clue that Brooks is also a very nice pick.
All right, done.
Because obviously you got to find out, when and whether he's going to play. But in a 10-team league, you have so many waiver options that you can get away with it for sure.
Ugh.
I feel great, Dave Piper, that I have not accidentally taken Justin Herbert on a day when he got hurt, or taken two Bears receivers like back to back. I feel like I'm killing. This is an Al Madrigal influence. I feel like I'm really on top of my game.
What am I influencing you to do?
My not making egregious errors that people are going to rag on me for in the comments.
Oh yeah.
I really appreciate you.
All right. We got two Bryans. And how about
Jonathan Stewart? No, probably not. A Romeo. I thought you were going to go another Jonathan. All right. Here we go. My final picks. Wow, a lot of tight ends went there. I'm probably just going to biff tight end and not worry about it. And I'll have to make a waiver ad before the season starts, since Hawkinson clearly is going to be on injured reserve. So I'm not going to worry about another tight end. In some cases, I take Taysom Hill because it's fun, but in a 10-team league, probably don't need to do that. Who else do I like late, who I feel like has real upside? Find some receivers.
I think you like
I'll say
Joshua Palmer. He's a big, nice.
I do like Josh Palmer. But I only have one pick left, and I have Jerry Jeudy a little higher than him. I think Jeudy should go in a 10-team draft. Oh, I have two picks left. You know what? I'm going to take Josh Palmer. My friend Al Madrigal told me so. So I'm done. And now you've got Mr. Irrelevant. Are we going to get Jordan Mason?
Oh yeah, we got to check with Jordan Mason.
Over Elijah Mitchell? Is that what you're?
No, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. If you take anything
away from this,
away from me, is you pick up Jordan Mason. I'm trust me.
Trusting Al. Are you texting Jordan Mason right now, like telling him?
Yeah.
There he is. We did it. All right. So if you look back over your team, we see some Niners on there, which I would expect nothing less. Look at the damn shirt. But you also got Jordan Love in a very late round. You got Raheem Mostert in a very late round. You have high upside guy like Jonathan Brooks, high upside guy like Brian Thomas. You got the best player in the league in Christian McCaffrey. I think you got to feel pretty good about this.
I feel pretty good about my team, and I also really strongly believe in my. I give myself a solid B,
okay.
And I feel good about the upside of Tank Dell.
Sure.
And even though he's coming off that injury, I like Kittle because he's just a beast. Do you know I announced Kittle's draft pick for the 49ers?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
What round did he go in? Fifth round. There you go. They brought the big guns for the fifth round, huh?
I got the big guns. I was in the Niner Museum. Yeah, I'm not mad at this, man. I kind of like, and I had Olave a couple years ago. He's great. He's really become, a consistent scorer. So yeah, I like what I got going. Like I said, not an A, but a B. And that number one spot is a little tricky.
It absolutely is, because you have to wait a long time. A lot of good players come and go before you're able to pick again, and it leads you to.
What is your ideal? You like being right in the middle in one of these with a 4 or 5?
I feel like there are something along the lines of 12, 13, 14 players that I like. And so if I'm in a 10-team draft, then, I can be a little earlier in the round because I'm going to get 13th or 14th player when I biff around into the second round. If I'm in a 12-team draft, I kind of want to be back toward, maybe it's like more like 16 players, but I don't feel awesome. I've picked one. I've had the one pick. I've taken McCaffrey in some drafts this summer, and especially when it's a 12-teamer and you're picking 24 and 25, you're not getting a pure wide receiver one. You know, Ayuk is really good and has the potential to do a wide receiver one. Olave is really good, has a potential, but we don't think of them as slam dunk. This is like having Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill.
Was a really good team. Look at Team 5's team.
Team 5. Well, a lot of receivers. Oh my God.
Yeah, but
Zamir White and Trey Benson are their starting running backs. I think I might have to disagree with you on that one, but a lot of good receivers for sure.
No, but just receiving wise.
For sure. Lamb, Adams, Evans, Pittman, Flowers, Pickens. There might be an AI. The machines may be conspiring against us. That's an insane build. You know what? Al gave himself a B, but we want to know what you think down in the comments. How would you grade Al's draft? He's going to check constantly. He'll hit refresh again and again. So let him know down in the comments. Let us know other stuff. We had a lot of fun bringing this to you. I want to thank AG1 for continuing to sponsor. Thank you, drinkag1.com/Harris. Thanks to Dave for producing. Thanks to you for watching. Most importantly, thank you to Al for being here. I really appreciate it, buddy. And I'm looking forward to our auction here in a couple of weeks.
We have our auction. We are going to play golf.
I hope that will happen soon.
Yes.
Thanks to everybody for watching. Thanks so much. And we will see you next time.
All right. Later. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks so much for watching. Please, please, please smash that like button. Write a comment. Tell us who else you'd like to see us review film on. And of course, best of all, please subscribe to our channel and then click that little bell above the subscribe button and you'll be notified whenever we post a new video.